The persistence of vision is the ability to see a sequence of frames as a continuous picture. Though there were various sophomore devices around in an attempt to capture movement, in 1892 Auguste and Louis Lumière invented the cinematograph, a hand-cranked projector that could show frames in quick succession. According to legend, the brothers set up the projector and played a video of a train coming at the screen. It frightened the guests so much that people ducked under their seats because they thought they were going to be run over. However, film was considered a passing fad until people got the idea to use it to tell stories. One of the earliest movies was called The Great Train Robbery, and it shot scenes much like how one might see it performed at a play. This mode of storytelling caught on very quickly. Soon, 5-cent hand-cranked movie theaters, called Nickelodeons, began to appear everywhere as a cheap form of watching movies. This increased the demand for more films, and as they grew more popular, an industry was created. There were many uses for this new medium, including World War I propaganda. This exploded the movie industry. The 1920s is considered the birth of modern Hollywood studios. Warner Brothers, Paramount, and 20th Century Fox were the top-tier controllers. Universal Studios, United, and Columbia were in the middle, and on the bottom you had lower tiers like Disney, Monogram, and Republic. The 20s was also the birth of the director and the movie star, as artistic recognition flourished. The 1930s is considered the golden age of Hollywood. With sound entering the picture, musicals, horror movies, and comedies became increasingly popular to attend and to watch. The directors and the movie stars gained recognition.
And I was alone for years, but fate was kind, and in the
Here is the motion picture record released by the United States Navy of the havoc wrought by the Japs' sneak sky and sea raid on Pearl Harbor, America's mid-Pacific naval bastion.
With World War II propaganda actually increasing theater attendance and color being introduced to cinemas, the film industry flourished in the 1940s. Disney made their first animated feature films, such as Snow White and Bambi. During this time period, movies began to tangle their narratives more creatively. Then came the 50s.
Hands over your head, keep low to the ground. Time to duck and cover, the bombs are coming down.
These fools are not crazy! Make them listen to me before it's too late! If you fail to understand, then the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
The Cold War era and fear of the atomic bomb created mass fear of world destruction. This represented itself in movies such as The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Films increasingly began to reflect culture. With the 60s came social changes, such as different kinds of fashion, rock and roll, and the civil rights movement. Movies began to push the envelope as people began to push at culture. Directors like Alfred Hitchcock explored twisty ways of telling stories with themes such as surprise, violence, and fear. Hollywood films were still mainly focused on targeting families, with movies such as Mary Poppins and Sound of Music. However, as the 60s progressed, darker movies with more mature themes started rebelliously coming out.
We robbed banks.
In the 70s, film directors began to express and incorporate their own visions of creativity, insight, and forms of storytelling through film. This period had a lot of directorial control, with fantastic movies like The Godfather, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Jaws. Studios quickly tried to rein in control for business purposes. Movies like Star Wars led to the rise of the blockbuster. The 80s also saw a rise of people watching movies at home on their VCRs. During the 90s, Disney regained control by marketing animated films such as Disney's Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and movies like Aladdin. Pixar was the first studio to create an entirely computer-animated feature-length movie. Movies began to evolve with technology, and soon other studios rushed to copy Pixar. During the 2000s, IMAX cinema and 3D movies rose in popularity. The Dark Knight was one of the first films ever to be filmed in IMAX, and films like James Cameron's Avatar increased popularity in 3D movies. Today, many forms of entertainment are a huge part of the ordinary person's life, and as moviegoers get savvier and more intelligent, the demand for more thought-provoking and relevant movies increases. A lot of artistic filmmakers have moved on to more independent networks like Netflix. As culture shifts and turns, the entertainment industry shifts and turns with it.